I love creating, and I think that as women, you're not often given authorship, yet women represent 85% of people making purchases in homes across all categories.
For those who are not in the Hollywood world, what is wrong with her taking over the film?
I've never seen it before in my 30-plus year career in Hollywood, and an executive producer is below a producer in the film world. An executive producer signed up to be an executive producer, and that's it. That is
the times that people ignore the red flags and say, let's just keep pushing. Those are the times where you fail. The majority of things that we're buying are created by men. You always learn more from your failures than you do your successes.
Blake Lively's sudden departure from the country has sent shockwaves through Hollywood, igniting a frenzy of speculation in an industry already drowning in controversy. For months, tension had been simmering behind the scenes between Blake and director Justin Baldoni, fueled by whispers of conflict, leaked messages, and an ever-shifting tide of public opinion. But no one, neither fans nor industry insiders, was prepared for what came next. Just as Justin released a fresh wave of damning evidence, Blake didn't just respond, she vanished. Packing her bags in a hurry, she left the country without a word, turning what was already a contentious situation into an all-out firestorm. Was this an attempt to sidestep responsibility, a desperate bid to protect her privacy? Or was there more to the story than meets the eye? Justin Baldoni, a director renowned for his emotionally engaging narrative, was in charge of a film project that had all the ingredients for a cinematic classic. To trace the origins of this drama, we must return to those early days. Given Blake's reputation for delivering polished, captivating performances, her casting felt like a natural fit. Everything appeared to be going swimmingly at first. While Justin was effusive in his admiration of Blake's commitment, she jokingly gushed about the immense joy of contributing to such a stirring rendition. As far as anyone could tell, it was a perfect partnership. However, schisms were starting to emerge behind closed doors. As work progressed, tiny modifications in the atmosphere became impossible to ignore. Blake felt abnormally nervous around Justin, which caught the attention of the crew members. Blake is generally pleasant and easygoing. His many hats as director, co-writer, and lead actor have led some to wonder if Blake felt she couldn't fully express her artistic vision due to his busy schedule. Her new attitude became increasingly noticeable as time went on. She used to be really passionate, but now she's just lukewarm, and others who were watching were afraid of her anytime Justin got praise. The discomfort was building, until eventually everything detonated.
It is important in times like these to have a distraction. And that's why I want to personally extend my gratitude to Justin Baldoni and Blake Lively. Thank you for providing us with that distraction. I'm grateful. I think we're all grateful. And I think we're good.
The behind-the-scenes friction might have stayed in the shadows, if not for a sudden surge of negative press. Reports painted Blake as distant and difficult, but she didn't sit quietly. She fired back with a bold accusation. According to her, Justin was using his position as director to manipulate media coverage, tarnishing her reputation to maintain creative control. Given the growing awareness of media spin, her claims struck a chord with many. She described an environment where her input was routinely dismissed, accusing Justin of sidelining her perspective in favor of his near-total authority over the project. Public opinion shifted in Blake's favor for a while. Her annoyance was perceived by many as a part of a larger trend in which female leads are frequently overshadowed by male filmmakers. The story then took a dramatic turn. In response, Justin published lengthy, uncut text exchanges that presented a radically different picture. The communications showed that he actively sought Blake's advice, changed schedules to accommodate her, and sought her opinion often. Far from ignoring her, he appeared to be a director who sincerely sought peace, rather than the controlling character the media had depicted, only to encounter unanticipated animosity. But that wasn't all. Another thing that fans who were examining the text found were hints that Blake had secretly threatened to use her influence, as well as that of her husband, Ryan Reynolds, if Justin didn't share her vision. The public's perception changed as a result of this discovery. People began to wonder if the first stories had been deliberately fabricated to paint Justin in a negative way. A new issue surfaced as tensions increased. What part, if any, had Ryan played in this? He was often referred to in Blake's messages as one of her dragons, a coded term that suggested strong allies willing to support her in conflicts. There was a lot of speculation. Was Ryan subtly directing the story? Had he tipped the scales in Blake's favor with his hilarious star power? There were a lot of theories on the internet. However, the situation took yet another turn just as attention was shifting to Ryan. Blake's own lawyer abruptly quit, a sudden development that rocked the conversation. His succinct but enigmatic comment suggested that Blake's account of what happened and the facts as they were recorded differed significantly. Everyone was left wondering if the truth had been twisted all along as the tide suddenly changed once more.
For those who are not in the Hollywood world, what is wrong with her taking over the film?
I've never seen it before in my 30 plus year career in Hollywood. And an executive producer is below a producer in the film world. An executive producer signed up to be an executive producer, and that's it. As the time progressed in this film, she decided that she wanted to be a producer. She started to make edits. She wanted to be part of the editing team. There were people hired, like human beings actually hired to do the editing job, who had done work as editors. She wanted to be part of that team.
That alone would have been enough to dominate headlines. But Justin wasn't done. True to his word, he kept his promise. If Blake continued to portray him as dismissive or manipulative, he would release more context. And he did just that. This time, the new receipts weren't just a handful of selective messages. They were an extensive set of conversations, revealing a full timeline of interactions, from the earliest days of pre-production to the final moments of filming. These weren't cherry-picked snippets. They painted a bigger picture. They showed that Justin had not only been attentive, but had actively tried to maintain open communication with Blake, encouraging her to voice any concerns directly. Several messages even captured him apologizing for any unintentional missteps, offering to adjust schedules, and making it clear that her creative input was valued. Insiders who later spoke anonymously confirmed that, at least from Justin's side, the production environment had been collaborative for months. But the real shockwave came when certain private messages from Blake surfaced. Messages that suggested she had been strategically planning to expose supposed flaws in Justin's leadership when it suited her goals. Some of these messages hinted that she was timing the release of concerns about postpartum anxiety and production safety to coincide with major promotional milestones, effectively overshadowing any positive press Justin was hoping to build. Though there was no direct evidence of Ryan Reynolds being involved in this latest batch of leaks, references to My Circle and her dragons reappeared, suggesting that Blake felt she had external forces ready to support her claims when needed. Then, suddenly, Blake was gone. Reports emerged that she had pulled out of multiple scheduled appearances without explanation, including a key promotional event for an entirely separate project. Her management team remained tight-lipped, only fueling speculation. Then, flight manifest leaks surfaced, showing she had boarded a private jet with minimal luggage and only a small entourage. Soon after, blurry paparazzi photos captured her in an airport lounge, head down, sunglasses on, avoiding eye contact, far from her usual poised and friendly demeanor. And just like that, the internet exploded. Was Blake trying to avoid legal issues? Or was she just overpowered, fleeing the fury of criticism that suddenly threatened to overtake her? The public was divided. Some fans expressed sympathy, claiming that the weight of public scrutiny might be debilitating despite the new information. Her abrupt departure was interpreted by some as an admission of guilt. Why go now if she had nothing to conceal? Many argued that rather than vanishing during the height of the scandal, it would have been more effective to directly confront Justin's receipts. Justin Baldoni, meanwhile, answered with measured but obvious annoyance. He insisted that his sole objective had been to safeguard both his reputation and the integrity of his movie. He apologized that the situation had reached this stage, but he also noted that if the recently leaked messages were genuine, they made it brutally obvious where the true slander effort had come from. However, Blake wasn't the only target of criticism. Ryan Reynolds was hit hard by the aftermath. Long suspected of conspiring behind the scenes with Blake to discredit Justin, Ryan was caught in the crossfire of her sudden departure. Rumors of damage control started to circulate. Would he follow Blake overseas, or would he remain behind to deal with the situation? According to reports, he was frantically phoning legal counsel and public relations teams in an attempt to head off the storm before it could ruin his own career. And this was the worst-case scenario for a man who was well known for his sharp wit and well-cultivated public persona. His name was in the news not for his comedic or forthcoming endeavors, but rather for leaked messages and charges of planned sabotage. TJ Miller came next. The actor abruptly withdrew his remarks regarding Ryan's apparent participation in these behind-the-scenes power struggles. He said he wanted to allow the fresh receipts do the talking and declined to make any more statements. However, the harm was already done. Many people who had previously questioned TJ's intentions suddenly changed their minds since, piece by piece, the proof was supporting his prior assertions. Rumors about planned media leaks, timing, and an inside attempt to undermine Justin's movie had stopped becoming rumors. And now that Blake had gone missing, Ryan was in a panic, and the industry was in disarray. The question was still, how much more could be discovered?
Money is on Blake Lively being wrong. All right, you guys, it is Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni Day. Finally. I've been teasing that all week, and let me just say to all of the women out there that are watching, no matter what you do in life, you never, ever, ever go full Amber Heard.
The enormity of the consequences astounded industry insiders. Blake and Ryan, once the embodiment of a power couple known for their polished image and seamless comedic chemistry, were suddenly embroiled in a dispute that jeopardized not only one project, but their entire brand. Behind closed doors, some producers quietly discussed future collaborations. Public perception is everything, an unnamed CEO said. When two A-list celebrities are accused of organizing a smear campaign against a director, studios fear. Trust is the foundation of this industry. If an actor's off-screen behavior appears too erratic, collaborations become a gamble. Fans too felt the shockwave. Social media erupted into a maelstrom of debate. Some believed the freshly discovered receipts supported Blake's manipulations, while others contended that critical context was still missing. Speculation ran wild. Was her unexpected departure motivated by a frantic need for emotional self-preservation after feeling alienated? Or was it a deliberate attempt to avoid attention and potential legal consequences? If Justin or others decide to file defamation charges, conspiracy ideas will only grow. Some believed she had gone to a quiet place with Ryan to regroup in secrecy. Others hinted to an explosive tell-all in the works. Meanwhile, relief spread among Justin's film crew. They had grown tired of having their hard work obscured by constant tabloid turmoil. Some revealed that, while small on-set difficulties were unavoidable in any high-pressure production, nothing deserved the subsequent media frenzy. Justin's choice to share the full text logs did more than just clear his name. It also validated the crew members who had silently supported him, worried that speaking out would result in retribution or denial. Then arose the question of Blake's location. Fan-posted airport sightings put her in a European location famed for ultra-luxurious celebrity hideaways. A staff member at an upscale hotel surreptitiously described observing a woman who resembled Blake, but was hiding behind big sunglasses and checking in with a different name. However, when paparazzi scoured the neighborhood, she was nowhere to be seen. This just encouraged speculation. Was she seeking complete isolation, retreating to a location far off from the media frenzy? Or was she simply biding her time, planning a spectacular return with a carefully worded explanation to counter Justin's disclosures? The upheaval served as a sharp reminder of how vulnerable Hollywood's reputations can be. Blake was impenetrable just months ago, known for her witty interviews, philanthropic work, and seemingly faultless social media presence. Now, that carefully crafted image revealed undeniable fractures. Her abrupt leave, which coincided so exactly with Justin's incriminating receipts, felt more like a final chapter than a short getaway. Suddenly, everything, from corporate endorsements to potential roles, was scrutinized. In a business founded on the image of harmony, the reality is often significantly messier. When the facade begins to disintegrate, the consequences can be rapid and unforgiving. In the meantime, Justin ensured everyone was aware that the film would go on uninterrupted. The existence of a scandal would not be a reason to disrupt it. It became clear that this project wouldn't be characterized by controversy. In front of the press, he said the drama with Blake had overshadowed production, but he maintained that the story at the core of the adaptation still deserved the audience's attention. Various cast members were quick to step up for him, praising his unwavering leadership amidst the bedlam. Their comments were in stark contrast to the maelstrom of allegations surrounding Blake. Some even framed the whole situation as a cautionary tale, a glaring reminder of how unchecked star power can divert attention from real artistry. What about Blake? Where does she stand in all this? If her intention was to lie low until the tempest passed, she might already be too late. Justin's revelations kept the issue bubbling over, reviving reports likening her sudden retreat to an automatic response to evidence against her, which she had no chance of rebutting. Rumors already fly. Some say she'll come back with a carefully crafted PR campaign after a few months, possibly an emotional interview, an apology, or giving some half-hearted explanation for those iffy texts. Others say she'll just kind of go away for a while, waiting for the next scandal to draw the industry's attention. And then there's Ryan. With Blake supposedly lying low overseas, miles away from the relentless paparazzi, what's his next move? Does he stay in the US and face the fallout alone? Or does he join her in what many are calling a strategic retreat? If he disappears too, it could cement public suspicion that the whole thing was a carefully orchestrated escape from accountability. Already, headlines are calling him out for dodging questions about the so-called dragons his wife allegedly referenced in those messages. The internet is buzzing with theories. Was their famously witty online persona just a carefully curated act? Was their humor a smokescreen for something more calculated behind the scenes? And then there's TJ Miller. Now that the dust from his initial claims has started to settle, he's confirming that some of Justin's newly released receipts match whispers he had heard before, but never had the proof to confirm. For TJ, it's a bittersweet moment. The truth is finally out, but he never intended to spark a full-blown, industry-wide meltdown. His goal, he insists, was honesty, not destruction. He expressed some sympathy for Blake, saying it was unfortunate that she felt so trapped she had to flee. But at the same time, he firmly believes that the situation spiraled because of her own behind-the-scenes actions, not because of any vendetta from him or Justin. So what happens now? Hollywood thrives on redemption arcs, and some insiders believe Blake could make a comeback if she's willing to face the controversy head-on. But Justin's latest receipts make that road to redemption far more complicated. If his evidence suggests a pattern of deception, it'll be difficult for fans and the industry to reconcile that with the charming, relatable persona she once projected. Yet there's another layer to this. Could Blake's sudden disappearance actually spark sympathy in certain circles? Hollywood is a pressure cooker. Scandals don't just damage reputations, they take a massive psychological toll. To some, her flight might not be a calculated maneuver, but a desperate attempt to escape the suffocating weight of public scrutiny. But regardless of how her retreat is interpreted, one thing is clear. This saga is a brutal reminder of how fast alliances can crumble when private conversations become public currency. Through it all, Justin has remained focused on the film, refusing to let the spectacle overshadow the work itself. His repeated calls for civility and his insistence that he harbors no ill will only further solidify his stance in an industry that is growing increasingly weary of celebrity entitlement. And as for Blake, her name, once synonymous with red carpet glamour and playful banter, now carries a very different association. Controversy, scandal, a sudden, mysterious departure. With every passing day, fans wait for any sign of her. An Instagram post, a paparazzi shot in some remote hideaway, or a carefully worded statement attempting to rewrite the narrative. But until she resurfaces, speculation reigns supreme. Is she a master strategist carefully plotting her next move? A victim of the relentless Hollywood machine? Or someone who simply got caught in a web of her own making? Meanwhile, Justin is pushing forward, determined to complete his film and shift the spotlight back where it belongs. TJ remains on standby, ready to step in if the narrative starts twisting again. And the story? It's still unfolding, a cautionary tale of Hollywood illusions, where even the most beloved stars can find themselves exiled, both literally and figuratively, when the truth, backed by undeniable receipts, finally sees the light of day. Blake's sudden exit is more than just a scandal. It's a harsh lesson in how, in the world of big-budget productions and tight-knit creative teams, perception can shift in an instant. One day, you're the celebrated face of a major film. The next, you're quietly boarding a plane, hoping that distance will silence the storm ignited by leaked messages, bombshell revelations, and a director unwilling to let fiction rewrite the truth.